All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have breaking news, and it actually happened just today, actually like 20, 30 minutes ago from the time of recording this. Blake Griffin is expected to sign with the Nets per Shams. So this just came out, like I said, like 30 minutes ago, and it's being talked about. It's not official yet, right, Kush? It's not official yet?
Not official, but it seems like that's where he's going to be with the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, yeah. So we're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how he fits on the team, whether he's washed or not. Does he make the Nets the championship favorites? That kind of stuff. So we'll get into it. We'll talk about our opinions, and that'll be it for the video. So let's talk about the first thing first, how he fits on the team with obviously the big three and the other complementary stars. Kush, I'll let you take this one first if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the signing with Blake Griffin signing with the Nets is a good signing for the Nets. Obviously, he isn't what he was when he was, that star on the Clippers back in the day. But listen, this is a team that played 6'4" Bruce Brown at power forward for major minutes. So this is a team that doesn't have big guys after that trade for James Harden. So having a 6'10" Blake Griffin, while he may not be a star, it gives the team some much needed size, some much needed scoring punch off the bench. And I just think it's a good signing. It can't hurt, and it's probably for the minimum. So really excited for the fit and can't wait to see him with the Nets in the second half. How about you?
Right. I don't disagree. I agree with a lot of those points. I don't know how he fits into, I don't know, I should say, I don't know how he helps the team, right? Because I think what they need is not necessarily more offensive firepower, because I think they got plenty. I think they really need a defensive stopper for opposing big men. Your Embiid, your Jokic, your AD. They need a stopper like that. Mm-hmm. Griffin's not he's not frail, but he doesn't have that height, the same, thing like that. Obviously, there's not a lot of people to choose from in this day and age, but I guess he can provide some kind of defensive prowess there. I guess we'll have to see. It also depends on what they give up, right? They could give up a Shumpert or something like that. They might not lose much. But if they, take away minutes from someone else who, might be a sleeper, fits way better with the big three, but that could also be bad for them. But I think overall it helps the Nets way more than it hurts the Nets. Like you said, it's probably gonna be for the minimum, so I don't see any issues there. I think he'll be a good fit, and we'll talk about their future in the next section.
Yeah, and I don't think this stops them from signing an Andre Drummond if Drummond gets bought out, and that's my ultimate hope, them getting Andre Drummond, because he provides that size, to go against an Embiid, go against the Giannis. So I think that's ultimately what we want, but we never know. So maybe if Drummond gets traded to another team, Blake Griffin's on the market right now. He doesn't cost much, and he's willing to, probably play a secondary role. So I think it's a no-brainer. And I know we're going to talk about how we think he's going to impact the Nets down the road, but I think it doesn't hurt at all. So it's worth taking the flyer.
Right. Definitely. I could see that point. Next, let's talk about, is he washed? So just let me pull up the stats real quick. Currently, when he was on the Pistons, he only played 20 games, which not a lot, but he was averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 4-ish assists, which is way down on his average. His career is at 21 points, 8.7 rebounds, and 4.5 assists. So, I mean, assists, it's kind of whatever, but points and rebounds, he's diminished a lot. So, I know you were talking before about do you think he was just unmotivated on the Pistons, and is he going to try way harder on the Nets? We'll see. I don't think his points are going to go up just because they got a lot of people who need the ball in their hands. I think I only see him getting lobs and putbacks. I don't think he's going to be shooting a lot of threes. He could. Maybe the Nets will just be a complete three-point shooting team, but I think he'll be on the board a lot. But what do you think about that? Do you think he's washed?
Yeah, so I certainly think there's multiple reasons why he's kind of fallen off. I think the obvious one is, he's getting a little older. He's had a lot of terrible injuries. I don't think he's as bad as he's kind of showed to be this year. So I think playing on a championship contender, like you said, I totally agree. I don't think it's going to be about the stats for Blake, but I think he actually can have a decent impact and be relatively efficient. I mean, he's fourth option on the team if he starts, which is a pretty good spot. If your fourth option is Blake Griffin, I don't get athleticism. That's pretty good. So I do think he'll be more efficient, and I do think he'll be somewhere in between what he showed as a Piston and where he was on the Clippers back in the day.
Okay, so you think he'll do better than where he was at this season? You don't think he'll stay the same or get worse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all about how you frame the expectations. I don't think he's washed, but I don't think he's a star or anything close to that anymore.
So I personally think he excels the most with a CP3, right? Kyrie's not really that guy who's going to dish it, lob like every single play, like a CP3 or a Steve Nash would. Kyrie's more of a, hey, I'm going to take this three, you get the rebound. So I don't think he's going to get easy buckets like that. Again, I think he's going to dominate rebounds. I think they need that, which is good. But honestly, like defensively, I don't know if he's there. Like you said, he's old. He's also injured, like very battered as a player. So he might not be as, he might be more hesitant to go up to, challenge someone. So I don't know. That's my thoughts on it.
I will say that James Harden's leading the league in assists. So I know, Kyrie's more of the shooting guard now, but we do have Harden who's dishing it out and leading the league. Defensively, you're absolutely right. And I think that's where this team needs help. And that's what's going to determine the Nets' destiny this year. Late at the end of the first half, the last 10 games, they've been starting to pick it up a little bit on the defensive end. Not to say that they're the Lakers or even a top 10 defense, but they've been semi-capable around league average. If they play around league average defense and Blake Griffin can help with, rebounding and things like that, with the offense that they have, they certainly can win a championship. So I agree. He's not a defensive player, but he need the size. Like Bruce Brown is playing the power forward, and Bruce Brown's really good. But when you play against the Sixers and the Bucks, you're going to need someone taller than 6'4" at power forward. So, he doesn't solve all their problems, but for the price, it's a no-brainer.
Okay, let's talk about our last thing. Does he make the Nets championship favorites? I'll take this one first. Personally, if I wasn't like a LeBron fan, like if my favorite player was like Kawhi or something like that, I would say yes. But I still got to go with LeBron. I think it's going to be really close. The Nets just keep getting better and better every time you look at them, right? They started with KD and Kyrie, then they got Harden out of nowhere. Now they're getting Blake out of nowhere. At a certain point, the Nets are, the Lakers are going to be outnumbered, outgunned, especially with this AD injury too. I think he's coming back, but is he going to be the same? Is he going to be as efficient?
And it's an Achilles injury, so even if he comes back, they got to be really careful about that.
Right? Yeah, he might be hesitant also to play like hard D and stuff. Obviously LeBron's still old. I don't see who else in the West can really challenge. Maybe the Clippers, maybe the Nuggets, but I think it's going to be the Lakers if they're going to challenge. I think this definitely puts the Nets into the finals. If Harden, himself didn't already, I think this Griffin addition definitely does. If they don't, I think that'll be really bad for the coaching staff and the whole team if they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals.
Listen, I'm a Nets fan, so what I'm going to say is always going to be a little bit biased, but the last 10 games of the first half, I don't think anyone's going to stop us, really. It's all about health. It all depends. Obviously, we're going to need Kevin Durant healthy, and he's missed a lot of games in the first half, but if he can be healthy during the playoffs and if Kyrie can stay healthy, James Harden always plays. I'm not really worried about him. If those three stay healthy with the pieces we're adding, I don't see a team that can beat us. Obviously, I'm never going to say never. LeBron James is still the best player in the world. I could still easily admit that. And he would be the best player in the finals if those two teams meet up. So they could always win. But I do think with this Griffin signing, and if somehow, by the grace of God, we get Drummond, I think it's a wrap. That would be bad. We'll see you in Brooklyn for the parade.
Yeah, if you guys got Drummond, that would be bad because he fits a lot of what you need, defensively and all that.
Guard Embiid.
Yeah. So, I think that was it for my end. Do you have anything else? Closing thoughts on Griffin or the Nets?
So the Nets are scary, but respect to the Sixers. The Nets are coming for your spot. So thank you for keeping first warm during the first half.
All right, fair enough. That's it for me. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. More videos to come. Sorry we took that month break, but we'll be back. We'll be back.
Listen. When it gets to playoff time, we're gonna be back. So, like Tim said, like and subscribe. So thank you, everyone.
Yep. All right. Peace out.
All right. Peace.